name's Tyler Hochstetler with Hochstetler Properties. Working on our little rental development. It's like a tiny house community called Redwood Homes. Me and my family owned a few rental properties around the area, and we ended up buying a mobile home park that was only about half full. And the primary reason we started building the small houses is because we got to looking at the construction and the cost of a mobile home. And ultimately we decided we could build small housing units and build them much nicer, much more efficiently than a mobile home is for the money that we put into it. And by building them the way that we do, the energy efficiency, it allows somebody that would be living in a mobile home to live in a nicer finished home for around the same price due to the energy efficiency of it. They save so much on power bills that that goes over to the rent, and at the end of the month it's about the same amount of money. So I grew up in the area, and early on in high school I started working for a friend of mine that was a general contractor, and we built houses from here down in Baldwin County, Gulf Shores area, and around here in Atmore, and just learned a lot about the trade and construction. After that, after I graduated a couple of years, I actually worked for my father. He had a cabinet and trim carpentry business. We did residential cabinets, and we've done a lot of commercial work, especially out here for PCI. We've done a lot of work for them. After that, I went to the oil field, and I stayed out there for about 8 years and came back after COVID shut the oil field down, and this is kind of when this idea came about. Right now, we have a crew of 4 guys, including myself. We have run as many as 6 in the past. We do everything from the infrastructure, burying sewer lines, power lines, internet lines, doing the foundation. We subcontract out some things, like I have a framing crew that comes in and frames the house out. I have an electrician, and I have another sub that does my sheetrock, painting, and finish work. But me and my guys do everything else. We do the floors, the plumbing, the cabinets, all the finish out stuff. We put on the roofs, the metal siding, spray foam insulation. We do everything that's left. Right now our timeline is about a month per house, but that's not necessarily in a straight line. If I build 6 houses, it's going to take me about 6 months, but the first house won't be finished out until about month 3 or 4, and then they just domino after that. We're hoping by building more houses at once we can bring that down to about a 3-week average per house, but we'll see how it goes. Right now we have 18 houses almost completed. This is actually the last house of the 18. The plan is to have 72 houses on this property when we're done. Primarily 900 square foot 2 bedrooms. We have a couple 600 square foot 1 bedrooms like this one that we're standing in right now. And then we'll have some 1,200 square foot 3 bedroom 2 bath units as well. Everything in the house runs off electricity, the water heater, the stove. We don't have any gas, but we do have fiber internet. We actually brought in from the main internet line out by the highway, we brought in fiber, and we disperse that ourselves through all the houses. So the internet is one of the perks that's included in your rent price, and everybody gets a minimum of 100 meg internet. I think most everybody's running 250, 300 right now. We get a lot of people that stop in and ask if we build these houses to rent or to buy, or if we build somewhere else for somebody that orders a house. And right now, we're busy building everything for our rental property here. In the future, we may start building these houses for other individuals because they are an extremely affordable solution for a place to live, and that's kind of hard to come by in today's housing market. We started this project with a conventional bank, had a construction loan and a conventional mortgage on the property, but we were fortunate enough to get in contact with some private individuals that were looking for a place to stick their money. So we were able to go with private funding for the time being, and that helps us with our timelines. We don't have to deal with as much red tape for like a material inspection and then a money draw. We can basically, as fast as I can order parts and spend the money, we can put it in place and keep trucking. We're sitting on 8 acres right now. Like I said, we got 72 houses on 8 acres. We will have the place pretty well full of our own houses. We're not really gonna have any spaces for RVs or anything like that. The hope is actually there's a very nice wooded lot on the back of us, and one of my personal dreams is that as we near completion on this, I would like to buy a strip of the wooded lot and actually add like a walking track and park benches and have like a nice, grill stations, place for people to, like on the 4th of July or a birthday party, go hang out outside and have a nice wide open place with trees. One of the things we decided to do when we wanted to develop this is try to keep things as neat and pleasing to the eye as possible and keep it from looking cluttered. So we decided to spend the money and put all of our power underground. We actually converted over to a municipal sewer system. We put in lift stations for all of our sewage that go to PCI, and all of our internet is underground, and it keeps things, clean lines. And it allows us to essentially have an alleyway for all of our utilities in one spot for easy maintenance, but then also we're able to have room to put up a privacy fence between units. The goal is to have an 8-foot privacy fence that runs along the back of each set of houses so that you can be in your own yard and feel somewhat isolated even though your neighbors are close by. One of our advantages building where we are, when we are, is we are actually just outside of city limits. And in Escambia County, Alabama, there's not technically any regulation within reason that we have to follow. So being as I own the property and I am building it, we don't have to have permits or inspections or anything like that. The fact that we don't have any regulation that we have to stick to or go through any inspections doesn't mean that we're building an inferior product. We've actually designed these things to be highly energy efficient and very well put together for a hurricane environment like we live in around here. The houses are extremely sturdy and extremely safe. They're way better constructed than a mobile home would ever hope to be. So a completed house, you're gonna get high-speed internet included. It comes with a range, a stove, a dishwasher, a microwave, and it has washer and dryer hookups. So a tenant moves in, if they want a washer and dryer, they supply that. And also it has a place for a refrigerator, ice maker hookups, and the tenant is also responsible for their refrigerator. So our current rent for a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, like I said, that's the majority of the houses we have right now, is $10.75 a month. Your power bill, I just did a cost study on the existing units that we have. Everybody's average power bill is $60 to $70 a month. That'll be higher in the summertime, lower in the wintertime. Everybody's averaging about $65 a month. And then you're responsible for your electricity, water bill, and sewer. Right now, the only solar that we would get would be, I know they're planning on building a large solar farm around here. Whatever we're pulling off the grid, if that's supplied by solar, then I guess technically you could call it solar, but we are not putting any solar panels up. The goal for me personally has always been to develop passive income. And a property like this was ideal because if I get it managed properly and have the right policies in place, it gives me a whole lot of freedom on a month-to-month basis to put my energy where I want it to go. I don't have to necessarily worry about holding down a 9-to-5 job. That's the dream that everybody has. And aside from that, I'm in a partnership with my parents. And the other goal for me is to make sure that they retire very comfortably. And after this, I'll still be in my 30s and hopefully I can move on to bigger and better things. As far as green or sustainable, we haven't got like a engineering stamp of approval for them to be, a greenhouse. But what I can say is that for the energy consumption of them, like the mobile homes that we're transitioning away from, I did a cost study on those as well. And these are running anywhere from 20 to 30% of the energy consumption of the same square footage home in a mobile home park. And depending on how some of the older houses are insulated, they're very energy efficient places to live.